Hey Rockers fans, and a big hello to the Boss Babes fanatics. Sitting to my left right now, we have Centerfielder for the High Point Rockers, DJ Burt. Thank you so much for joining me today. We are so excited to have you on here to kind of get to know you a little bit behind the scenes. First and foremost, your walk-up song. When that walk-up song comes on, go DJ, that's my DJ. We know you are about to crush it at the plate. So how did you choose that song?
Actually, my first year doing the song, and it seems like the fans love it, so I'm gonna keep that up.
It is very catchy. And what do you like to do on your off days? Any favorite off day activities that you enjoy doing?
Yes, I like to go fishing, go back home to Fuquay, and go bass fishing. So I do a lot of bass fishing.
Have you caught any big fish?
Yes, I have.
What's your biggest fish?
My biggest fish is like a 8-pounder.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yep, 8-pounder.
Do you ever keep the fish and eat them? I know sometimes people will catch fish and just release, or some people will grill them up and make dinners out of them and such.
Yeah, so for the bass fishing, I kind of do that just for sport. And in the wintertime and off season, I like to go crappie fishing. So I actually do cut and clean and eat those.
It's pretty cool. Good to know. I'm glad that we asked that question. What is a go-to snack of choice?
Had to be late night Waffle House.
Anything specific at Waffle House?
The All-Star Special. The chocolate chip waffles, scrambled egg with cheese, hash browns with cheese, and bacon.
I'm getting hungry now. Sounds delicious. Who is your favorite current artist, and do you have a favorite song that is out right now? Or it could be something from the past as well.
I listen to a lot of R&B, like, Chris Brown, Usher. Let's see, my favorite song would have to be, ooh, that's a tough one.
Do you have a couple favorite songs? Chris Brown is a good one.
Yeah, Chris Brown's a good one.
Did you hear the new one? Or he's coming out with one with Ciara. Did you see that?
I didn't see that one.
Yeah, so you're gonna have to check that one out.
Okay.
It sounds pretty good. I saw like a clip on Ciara's Instagram recently. What are some of your hidden talents?
I play drums for church during the off season. I guess that's kind of a hidden talent. I can play soccer. I'm not bad at soccer. I like hockey.
Like ice hockey or street hockey?
Street hockey. Yeah, street
Okay.
hockey. That's probably it. Hidden talents.
I want to talk a little bit about where you grew up. So you guys are now listening to DJ Burt. He is the center fielder for the High Point Rockers. We are getting to know him a little bit behind the scenes. I think I read somewhere or heard somewhere that you actually grew up in North Carolina. Is that true?
I grew up in Fuquay Arena, small town, the Raleigh-Durham area.
What are some of your top childhood memories from growing up in North Carolina? It's kind of cool that you actually get to play here currently now.
Right. I used to play manhunt all the time in the neighborhood. That's a pretty good one. I used to have a little dirt bike, go-kart. So I was pretty active, in my childhood.
Did you have any siblings growing up?
Yes, I have 2 sisters.
How was that whole vibe with having 2 sisters playing manhunt?
My sister, she's a little pretty girl. She never played. She wasn't a big outside person. Yeah, she's a girly girl. So we didn't really play too much of manhunt. If anything, I got on her nerves all the time.
Oh no, I feel that vibe. I grew up with a brother and sister, my brother and I, so I was kind of like a tomboy, as you could kind of tell from my choice of work. And then my sister was always into like the Barbie dolls and all the princess dresses and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I totally get it. What were some of your favorite home cooked meals as a kid? And now when you go back home with your family, what do you enjoy eating the most?
My grandma's candy yams, barbecue chicken, mac and cheese, collard greens, cabbage, you name it. But she can do it. My favorite dish is...
So she's making mac and cheese. We're gonna assume it's the grandma.
Yes.
You know that she's not making it out of a box.
Nope.
So it's homemade. What is in this mac and cheese?
To be honest with you, I don't look at when she cook. I just let her kind of do her thing. So I don't really know what's in the recipe. But
Might be a
it's
secret
good.
recipe.
Yeah.
Sounds really good though. We're gonna switch on over and talk about some baseball. The guys obviously have a game tonight, so we're gonna wrap this up very shortly, but I appreciate you sitting down with me. Where did your baseball journey begin? Did you play any other sports as a kid?
My baseball journey started when I was 5, playing t-ball, and then obviously travel ball growing up.
Did you play any football or anything else?
I played basketball in high school up until my junior year, and a little bit of football. Like I said, football is kind of backyard. I was always good at it.
So at what point did you know that baseball was going to be a career choice for you?
Going into my freshman year of high school, I was committed going to South Carolina. I kind of knew things were getting serious. Pretty much kind of, really high school, but, playing travel ball, umpires telling, hey, telling my grandparents, your son's going to be good one day, and just kind of kept at it ever since.
Speaking of saying here we are now, what are some of your top memories being a pro so far?
It's taken me pretty cool places. I played in Australia for 2 years. In Melbourne, so that was pretty cool. I would go with Australia. Australia is probably one of the most memorable things I've done in my career as far as, playing baseball. So.
When you were playing out in Australia, I know you guys probably had very limited downtime, but were there any excursions that you enjoyed doing on your free time or restaurants that you enjoyed checking out while you were there? Like, what did you do aside from baseball?
We would always go down to the beach and, hang out. They would have live bands playing in Australia. Cool, I'm an outdoor person, so we'd always go out, with some teammates. I can't really remember any places other than pretty much eating at the beach that I kind of really like.
Any hopes for the future when it comes to baseball? Obviously, we are currently here at the High Point Rockers. Team is doing fantastically this year. We'll talk about the Rockers soon, but what are your future plans? Maybe like a 2, 3, 4-year plan for baseball for you personally?
I don't know that far yet, but the hope is, I'm still chasing my dream, make some big leagues. Hopefully, the next 2, 3 years, if I haven't made the big leagues, I'll get a chance to go play in Taiwan or some, cool places and, make some money down there too as well.
So playing overseas could be a potential option.
Absolutely.
All right, now the High Point Rockers, we're obviously gonna chat about them because this is why we're here. What has been your experience like so far with the High Point Rockers in the ALPB?
It's been great. We have a great team here, we're winning. That makes it a whole lot easier too. We have a good group of guys, teammates are awesome, coaching staff. It's just a good area to be in, good environment.
And you're not that far from where you grew up, so your family.
Right.
I do see your family come here fairly often. I always say hello, so it's nice to have that local support. In playing center field, we're going to talk about that position. How did you get so great at covering that big open space? So for those of you guys that aren't familiar with center field, you have left field, you have right field, and center field covers like a large space out in the outfield. So how did you get so great at covering such a large space?
Growing up, I actually played a lot of outfield too. I was always kind of utility. Growing up playing with a few great Predators, I played a bunch of outfield. So I learned a lot from him, and then obviously when I got the pro ball, I was primarily second base, third base, a little bit of short. They actually knew that, I played outfield. Center field here, especially in the gaps, when we first got here, Jamie asked, pretty much talking where I was going to play this year, and he said, it makes me in second base, third base, but I haven't really seen it yet. I guess he loves me in outfield. But I told him, he had me in the outfield, I would love to play center field because I like to go track the balls down in the gap. I think that's the most exciting thing in center field, is taking hits away.
So there might be a reason why Jamie keeps you at center field, and we'll talk about this right now. So recently, you have made SportsCenter top 10, I think once or twice, with being the High Point Rockers. And I playfully joke around, I think you saw my comment, I was like, get that man a slip and slide, because some of these plays and catches that you make, he'll like dive head first, and it looks like you're like sliding like this, and I'm like, what is going on here? But you make the play, you get the catch, like, it's fantastic. So let's talk about what goes through your mindset when you're diving for a ball like that and making a big play like that.
I was just kind of, knowing my surroundings. Ben talks to me out there in the outfield a lot. Play I made on the SportsCenter. All I remember is I know it was hit well in the gap. I knew I had a chance. I kept running. I was like, oh snap, I think I had a chance. And dove, laid out for it, and perfect timing. Glad I didn't get hurt or anything, but pretty cool to lay out and, like you said,
make the big play.
Make the big play.
I know you just briefly mentioned not getting hurt. That was the question I wanted to ask you. So being a catcher, being an outfielder, being in a position where you could potentially get injured, how do you mentally prepare to help prevent a serious injury while you're out there possibly making a big play like that? Especially for those of you guys that aren't that familiar with baseball, or if you are, you see a lot of outfielders that run and jump into the wall sometimes and kind of like Spider-Man, like get their legs jammed up or get their arm jammed up or whack their head and still make the play. So as an outfielder, how do you guys prevent those big major injuries?
I guess experience, knowing, like I said, knowing your field and making a, running out to the fence. Sometimes if I know it's going to be hit at the wall, or maybe have a chance over the wall, I always say feet first. Going anywhere to the ball, hit hard to the wall that I think is going to get out. In my head, I'm just thinking, feet first, or, you know, like I said, on that play that I dove for, you know, Ben always tells me, hey, like, you got room. So that lets me know I have, you know, a chance of laying out and making the play.
So it's good to know that you do have the capabilities of being able to hear your fellow outfielders, helping you, like, I guess, be more aware of your surroundings. Mm-hmm. Any advice to those that are listening or watching right now that might want to go pro? So if it's like a little kid, it might be like a 10-year-old or a 5-year-old just starting off t-ball, or they might be in college wondering, hey, how do I continue to do this?
You gotta love this game. Growing up, you know, my grandpa in middle school, he would take me out every single day, hit BP, take ground balls. Best advice I can give him is, you know, just keep working hard every single day. It's not gonna come overnight. Till this day, I'm still learning more about the game. You know, there's always more you can learn. Just keep going, and, you know, always have a positive mindset and attitude. It's a hard game.
It's a grind for sure. Definitely a fun career if you continue to stick with that, as we're both speaking about. And as we start to wrap up, I wanted to just ask you, what's your top goal within the High Point Rockers this season? Obviously to take home the championship, but like, do you have any individual goals for the remainder? I mean, there's only like a handful of home games left, which is bizarre. What are some of your personal goals that you have for the rest of the season?
Wow. I haven't really thought about it, but, you know, obviously, you know, like I said, win the championship, keep the streak going, you know, hopefully I get on base here on out to the championship.
Oh yeah, let's talk about your streak.
Right.
You have like how many games now? You've gotten on base like close to 50 times in a row, I think, at this point, right?
57, I think.
We don't want to jinx it though.
Right.
It's not my fault that we're talking about it, guys. All right, so let's talk about your streak.
So yeah, 57, leading off, hitting ninth, hitting second. And that's my game, try to get on base, just pretty much steal, create havoc on the bases. Kind of having that mindset, you know, get on base. You know, the player that I am, that's kind of what I have to do. So.
Did you know that you were on a streak before it was mentioned?
No, I actually didn't know until I think Quincy had mentioned to me when it was like that 40. Go snap, like, it's kind of cool. Mm-hmm. Let's keep going.
That's awesome. Well, I just want to thank you so much for coming on here and joining me. At some point, I'd like to have you on for maybe an extended podcast interview, but get ready for the game. I fully enjoyed having you on here, and I'm sure the listeners and audience enjoyed getting to know DJ Burt a little bit better as well.
Thank you. Y'all have a nice day.